Welbo. Welcome to an all-new episode of The Wrestling Show. I'm your very fickle host, Lip Hazlewood, and we're about to take a very cynical look back at the NXT's premium live event, and that's Stand and Deliver. But before we dive into the show, a quick shout out to the non-competitors. That's right, they are the mortar that holds the building together, and they are the commentary crew, the play-by-play guys, the hosts, and straight up the narrators of the show. They are the team of two-time Hall of Famer, and top-notch filibuster, and an even more a fickle person than I am. It's Booker T, and backing up Booker T, it's the it's a voice of reason, I should say. He's a voice of reason, and he's the tippity-top Vic Joseph. And let's not forget, it's the hosts of Stand and Deliver itself. It's the most progressive tag team out there right now. Even more so than Private Party. They are the team of Elton Prince and Kit Wilson of Pretty Deadly. Talking about what's gonna happen in the show. They're supposed to get backstage interviews, but they don't. They just don't. Well, they kind of do. Something with Trick Williams comes out and gets a couple words. The hype man, number one hype guy in the world. No, the world. At least the NXT. So here we go. In this big, premium live event, every NXT Championship title is on the line. That's right. It's starting off with the Women's Championship match. Now, this one is a 6-women ladder match. Now, it started off with Roxanne Perez. Now, she felt ill after her match and fainted. She fainted after her match against Miko Satomura, taken to the hospital. Shawn Michaels says, "No more!" And similar to stripping Solo Sikoa of his North American Championship, she stripped Roxanne Perez of her Women's Championship gold. So he's decided to start a tournament to start this match. This very match, it was supposed to be a 5-woman match for this for the title ladder match. But at the very end, Roxanne's like, "Hey, I'm not really that injured, and I want my belt. At least I want a chance to fight for it." So this is it. 6 women in a ladder match. Roxanne Perez, she's in it. Can she, I guess, retain her title or get it back? I don't know. So anyways, it's Roxanne Perez versus Tiffany Stratton versus Gigi Dolan. Looking absolutely amazing, of course. Lyra Valkyria, Indy Hartwell, and Zoe Stark. It's true. I had my pick, I believe, was Zoe Stark to win this one. But hey, anything can happen, right? So here we go. What happens in this match? Now, it was medium, not huge bumps. It was a lot of safe bumps, but it was entertaining at the least. We had Tiffany Stratton near the beginning, trying to get she's up there with the hand on the belt, close to the belt anyways. Then we have a funny moment, like the Three Stooges Keystone Cops moment. It was hilarious. It was bad. The fact is this: Gigi Dolan, it was her spot. She gets in the center of the ring. She puts a ladder on top of her head. She wears it like a spinning top. So she sticks it on her head, and she starts doing the old whirly bird, the helicopter move. And it was sad because not only did she fall down, but she got up pretty quick. But the sad fact is this: all the competitors that were in the match, one by one, got into the ring and got hit by that ladder. It was ridiculous, but it happened. And was it fun? I guess it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of hilarity, but it did happen. But here we go. In this match here, Zoe Stark had her chance of getting that belt, getting her hand on that belt there, but nope, this was thwarted. Roxanne Perez came close to getting that belt too, climbing that ladder, but nope. He was thwarted too. But now here's the thing in the match here. I think something very serious happened in this match. It was, I believe, Zoe Stark she's getting drop kicked off the apron from Lyra Valkyria. Now that's not the thing, but when she landed, why? She landed on top of Indy Hartwell, and Indy got in her elbow, just struck that ladder so bad that it seemed like her elbow was, her arm was Indy Hartwell's head was in the crook of her arm, and her arm went down hard on that ladder. I'm thinking Zoe Stark is going to walk away from this match with the elbow injury, some strain, stress, fracture, or something like that. It's I think it's going to be not the worst, but it's going to be bad enough where she's going to, it's going to be bad. It's an injury, I think, for sure. I'm calling it here. Zoe Stark, elbow injury, stand and deliver with this ladder. So now here we go. During this match, we also got Lyra Valkyria, also an opportunity to grab that title. But I think with the biggest bump in the match is Lyra Valkyria. Well, it's the second biggest. Lyra Valkyria gets, flipped off the ladder. 3 rungs from the top, maybe about a 10-foot bump. Pretty good. A front bump, she lands it. Nice. I haven't seen Lyra Valkyria do any flying maneuver in forever. You know, I remember when she first came into the NXT UK, she did this flying axe kick, a la Carmelo Hayes. Then she got injured, and she changed that to a splash. Lasted very shortly, and then there's like no high flying from Lyra. No high flying at all. Anyways, after that, we got a Gigi Dolan. Oh, reaching for that belt. One and only chance for her. Gigi Dolan. Big fan of hers. I think the sky's the limit for a Gigi if she applies herself. But then again, you can say that for everybody. Am I right? And here's the thing. Gigi Dolan, after trying to grab that belt, she's met face to face with all her past. That's right. JC Jane pops up there and pushes her off. And earlier on, the ladder was set up where there was a ladder is set up with the ladder they climbed, and she landed directly on that ladder. Now, if you're just listening to this on a podcast, what I just explained there wouldn't make any sense at all. But thank goodness there's a picture. And she lands on the ladder. It was pretty devastating. I would say this Gigi Dolan bump was the hardest bump of the night, for sure. So with that said, we go to the biggest bump of the night. That's right. Not the hardest, but the biggest. Now, it's Tiffany Stratton at the last attempt. She climbs that ladder. She tries to go for the belt. She's really up there. And then this is where Indy Hartwell, the final sequence. Indy Hartwell pushes that ladder over. Tiffany Stratton turns that fall into the most beautiful swanton. She swantons off that right over the top rope, and she crushes out everybody that's in the match. It was crazy, but she landed on 3 people, sort of. It was a big bump. Yeah, it was the bump of the night, I suppose. Tiffany Stratton, completely fearless. Wow. I see big things for Tiffany. Tiffany and Sol Ruka. Sol wasn't in this Stand and Deliver. It's a shame, but she's still new. And regardless, it's not about Sol. This is about what's happening in the match. Now, here we go. Now, this gets weird. Indy Hartwell, she crawls in the ring there, and she tries to climb up the ladder. She can't quite do it. She just doesn't have the strength in her legs. Can you believe it? She doesn't have the strength in her legs to climb that ladder. So then we got ourselves, her husband, her absentee husband shows up, and she slides where he loves to be the most, between her legs. And he's like, hey, I'm where I like to be. Hey, the view is fine from here. Yeah, so he's between her legs, looking up at her, giving her some inspiration, and then he twists around and lifts her up on her shoulders. The physical wind beneath her cheeks. And she's lifted up. And literally, Dexter Lumis climbs the ladder for Indy Hartwell. And he just has enough strength to pull that women's championship off the hook, and she's won. Indy Hartwell is the new women's champion. How about that? And with just a teeniest bit of help from her husband, Dexter Lumis. So at the end, though, it was a nice picture with the way, the complete way, except for Austin Theory. So yeah, it was Candice LeRae, Johnny Gargano, Papa G, Indy Hartwell, and her husband Dexter Lumis, the kayfabe husband. So yeah, it was good. So we got our first match, and we got a new women's champion. How long would this last? How long would it last before Zoe Stark becomes the champion? The next champion? I don't know. Anyways, our next match is a triple threat, a tag team, a title match in the men's division. That's right, another multi-person match. Now, usually the NXT has pretty clean tag teams, the cleanest out there. But I gotta say, the Angelo family, they just don't care about tag teams, really. They're not a real tag team. It's Tony D'Angelo, he just runs out there and does what he wants to do. The referee had no control over this match for the longest time. He just comes in and starts stomping over, like Channing. He gets beaten up. He's like crawling towards the ropes, and then Tony D'Angelo just jumps in and starts fighting. It's like, I'm sorry. There's no tag there, no attempt for a tag. You just come in there like that? Like a house on fire? Come on now. But it was a lot of fun. You know, from, what's that, both Diamond Mine, Creed Brothers. Now, inside this match also, it's, I don't know if I explained it. Diamond Mine's Bruce and Julius Creed, the D'Angelo family's Tony D'Angelo, Channing Stack Lorenzo versus the tag team champions themselves, Gallus. It's Marcus, Coffee, and Wolfgang. Wolfgang. This was a lot of fun. Tag ropes don't matter. Even though they do try to use it. The referees don't really care if you use it or not. They always talk about that usually. Now we had a few moves. A few moves were just nonsense. They looked like there could have been a huge. They started off as huge moves, but ended up being nonsense. Now one looked like some sort of stack pile driver, a stuffed pile driver. Done by a lot of teams in the past. The Brainbusters. One. So, anyways, it's Brutus Creed with Wolfgang with the underhook DDT style, double underhook chick DDT, no, double underhook pile driver, and it's Julius Creed jumps off the apron and he grabs the legs, and you think, are they going to go down and it's going to be some sort of stuffed pile driver? But they just fall. They just fall all clumped together. It's like, it was weird. It was messy. It was sloppy. It was dumb. Another one I thought was funny was Channing Stacks Lorenzo. He gets in the ring. There's a house of fire. He just started kicking ass, and he runs out in the ring there, and he stomps on Marcus's back on the outside, and he runs around the other side of the ring to do a senton onto Wolfgang. He's got way too much momentum going for himself, and he clearly misses Wolfgang, and sentons to mat. It was interesting. Now, I do believe in a lot in Channing Stacks Lorenzo, the underboss. He's got some skills that pays the bills, but when he gets too, hyperactive, that's when things go wrong, baby. Now, another thing that was hilarious in this match was now Brutus Creed has something called the Brutus Ball. It's a cannonball. He jumps off things. He usually hurts himself, but this was hilarious. This was the Tower of Doom outside the ring. It was Julius Creed has Marcus Coffee on his shoulders, and on his shoulders, that's right, he's got Channing Stacks Lorenzo. And then on top of everything there is Brutus Creed on the top rope, the tippity top rope, as Vic Joseph would say. And he jumps off for Brutus Ball. It's like, wow, I'm not sure what's going to happen here. Even if it hits properly, it's just going to be disastrous. But he jumps off the ropes there, as you can see. And he misses completely. It was a complete whiff. Oh, whoops! Misses. That was nonsense. Good for you, Brutus Creed. How about it's time to retire that damn Brutus Ball, because it's nonsense. It is nonsense. Even if the Brutus Ball hits, what's it supposed to do? What is it supposed to do? If Julius Creed has someone on his shoulders, and Brutus jumps off the ropes and hits him with the Brutus Ball, if he hits him on the side, it's basically, you might have just pushed the person. Somebody just push someone. It's so ridiculous. Anyways, enough to complain. And near the end of the sequence is Tony D'Angelo. He runs in there. I mean, it's with, I believe it's Julius Creed in the ring and Stax Lorenzo, but it's, Underboss. Tony D'Angelo runs in there with the interesting move. It's like the fisherman suplex. They like a really, really interesting fisherman suplex. Nice one. And that sets up Channing Stax Lorenzo. Goes off the top rope with a, I guess, a crucifix style. The splash. He was pretty good. Nice form. Good form. Channing Lorenzo showing his abilities in that ring. I think I'm impressed. And then, of course, it's the finishing move of the Angelo family. It's the, what's that? It's a double electric teardrop. Brought to you first by Damage Control. Io Sky and Dakota Kai when they almost killed Candice LeRae when she landed on her spine. So yeah, they do this huge thing. But however, while Stax Lorenzo tries to get the pin on Marcus Coffey, he gets pulled out the ring. Now, I'm not sure exactly. Now, because it's a triple threat, 3 people are in the ring at a time, therefore there's no disqualifications. So it's a ridiculous right off the bat there. So I'm not sure why no one else brought some backup, But this is the backup. Joe Coffey is back finally. The little big man of the wrestling world. He pulls out Channing Stax Lorenzo. Disqualification should be, but no. And he's about to pile. He just wants to slam Lorenzo in the face with a clothesline, but it's Tony D'Angelo says, "No, my friend, my buddy, my family member." He pushes him away, and he gets clobbered with the clothesline. And still no disqualification, because there's no disqualification, I guess. Oh boy. So I'm not sure why Tony D'Angelo didn't have a crowbar up his pants. No disqualification. Use your dumb crowbar and smack someone in the head with it. But anyways, Joe Coffey, Wolfgang take advantage of Channing Stax Lorenzo. Now their finishing move, they constantly finish this differently all the time. Their tandem move is always different. This time it's this. Marcus Coffey comes in with a flying knee, and then Wolfgang goes up with the what's that? I don't know. It's like the end of days. The face plant. So anyways. Winning this match is Gallus, Marcus Coffey, and Wolfgang. It's a flying knee. It's a flapjack, actually. It's a flying knee to the flapjack. And that's how it finishes it. That's right. Might have messed that up. That's okay. So next match here. It is a good one. They call it the Open Invitational North American Championship match. Now, I'm not sure why they call it the Open Invitational, but this match is clearly has been set already. It's a set match. It's not an Open Invitational. An Open Invitational is when you got no opponent and you say, "Who wants this? Come and get some." So yeah, this is basically a fatal five-way for the North American Championship match, regardless of what they try to sell you as it. So this is the funny thing. This was a fast-paced, hard-hitting. This was all the markings of a great match. But one problem, I think there was just too much happening. Too many things, too many wrestlers. It was a cluster of wrestling. It was just too much. It could have been match of the night. Lots happened. It was really good. A lot of, everybody had their moment. There's no doubt about that. Dragon Lee showcasing his amazing high flyer. The tope suicida over top rope. What's that? JD McDonough also in this match. Axiom, Dragon Lee, Wesley, and Ilya Dragunov. That's right. So, yeah, I think I'm getting too far out of myself. It's this match is fatal five-way match is Ilya Dragunov versus Axiom versus JD McDonough versus Dragon Lee versus your current champion Wesley, who's defending. So yeah, we had a moment where JD McDonough got Wesley into the devil inside. this inside suplex. It didn't end that way. Now we also had a point where Dragon Lee with the wedgie powerbomb on Wesley. Now Dragon Lee's the wedgie powerbomb, I believe. Giovanni Vinci. He does this wedgie powerbomb a lot. That's his finisher. So we think could this be it? Oh no. Now we got a point where even Ilya Dragunov showcasing his power. He's on the inside of the ring and grabs Axiom. Gives him a headlock and pulls him up and then suplexes him into the ring. Haven't seen that in a while since Cesaro. So now here's the fun part, the ending the match. We have ourselves Ilya Dragunov getting Dragon Lee in the ring there. They're fighting out there, and Dragon Lee's about to get hit by the flying. That's right. It's the Moscow. The torpedo Moscow. The flying headbutt. So, yes, right. As Ilya Dragunov's going for the torpedo Moscow onto Dragon Lee, it is Wesley with his finishing move. It was pretty impressive. The cardiac kick. The back handspring Pele kick. And he smashes both Dragunov and Dragon Lee in the head. It was pretty impressive. The timing was impeccable. Like this match, it could have been match of the night. If it was just a three-way triple threat, would have been insane. Would have been match of the year. But there's so much happening. But it was well done. But Wesley gained the pin on a Dragunov. That's right. Now here we go. Our next match. It is a non-sanctioned match. So it's going to be like, it's going to be dangerous. Anything can happen. It's just basically, no holds barred match, basically. It is between Grayson Waller versus Johnny Gargano. They have a little bit of history. I guess they're trying to finish things off. It was a very good match. It was a match of the night. Close to it. Very close to the match of the night. It was a very, very good match. Grayson Waller and Johnny Gargano going hardcore. They started off quick. Johnny Gargano got started really quick, taking a match outside. Tope Suicida smashing. Grayson Waller. Actually, I think Grayson Waller. Now, last time Grayson Waller used a pen in the ring there. He got it from Vic Joseph. I think this time Grayson Waller got a pen from Booker T. Mm-hmm. Booker T says he may not be a fan, but he likes Grayson Waller. I think he's a fan. Now here we go. Grayson Waller then takes that pen and jams it into the thigh muscle of, Johnny Gargano. Mm-hmm. You don't really see much of it. You just assume that's happened. He holds his legs like, that happened. Nothing big. But here's what I think happened in the match. We see someone in the crowd. You might think it's a little skinny guy, but no. I think we got ourselves a wrestling veteran in the crowd here. Mr. Cheeseburger. Is there a Mr. Cheeseburger in the crowd? Mr. Berg? Cheeseburg? I don't know. I'm thinking Cheeseburger was there. I could be mistaken. Front row corner, maybe. Now, of course, they take the match outside. Grayson Waller throws Johnny Gargano through a table. Just massive. And Johnny Gargano, while he's down there, Grayson Waller takes some time out of his day. And I'm not sure why Candice LeRae decided to take their kid, their daughter, their bebe, to a live show without ear protection. Shame. But anyway, she's with either her sister or nanny. Regardless, could this be the brunette next to Candice LeRae? Could that be her sister? Who knows? Comment below. Now, Grayson Waller did try to finish Johnny Gargano's match with a steel chair. He tries to smash Johnny Gargano against the steel steps with the steel chair. Johnny Gargano escapes. Not with the Johnny Gargano escape. Hey, no. He grabs a kendo stick and starts smashing up some Grayson Waller. Turns it around just like that. Just like that. And then gets his wife in there. Candice LeRae starts smashing Grayson Waller with the kendo stick too. Grayson Waller does catch a kendo stick and it's like, no more. Gonna be hitting some of him getting himself some Candice LeRae action. But behind him is Johnny Gargano with another kendo stick. Smashes him in the back. And then hits Grayson Waller with his DDT. His massive DDT, you know. The slingshot DDT. And gets him in the Johnny Gargano escape. But however, Grayson Waller escapes with a poke to the eye. A fingers to the eye. Pokes him in the eye. Now here's the thing. Grayson Waller, there is something called the Unprettier. By Christian used to do the Unprettier. He probably still does, but now this one here, my goodness, I've never seen the Unprettier done so well, and this is taking the Unprettier to the next level. It's basically Grayson Waller does a front bump, and for the front bump, he connects the Unprettier onto that and making the Unprettier devastating. It could possibly be a finishing move, but he doesn't use it as finishing move, and surprising. After that, Grayson Waller goes even bigger with a coast to coast, putting a garbage can over top of Johnny Gargano's head and going from one rope to the other. Big Joe dropkick from rope to rope. That's right. Successfully. Now, they do fight outside. Grayson Waller clears off the table. And he wants to put himself through a Johnny Gargano, who puts Johnny Gargano on the table. It was a lot of work. Johnny Gargano ends up turning things around and putting Grayson Waller through that very table. But here's the thing. This match was quite long. It was about 18 minutes, almost 20 minutes. This was all these matches were barn burners. Johnny Gargano gets a shot right to the nuts. That's right. Grayson Waller goes low, takes Johnny Gargano into the ring, and finishing off with his finishing move, that damn stunner, the rolling stunner. Rolling stunner. And then goes ham with the chair. You think that'll be it? But surprisingly, all those chair shots and the finishing move just doesn't do it. Apparently, Johnny Gargano is Superman. Grayson Waller is, I guess, Grayson Waller, I think it came down to this. Grayson Waller was talking down to him. He was saying how crappy, just talking, belittling, Johnny Gargano. Johnny's like, no way! No one talks to me that way! And he gets a second win, or third win, a fourth win, even a fifth win. And then he crotches. He punches Grayson Waller right in the balls, right in the ball sack. And then smashes Grayson Waller with a chair a couple of times. And then sticks that chair around his neck and using another chair and smashing that chair, flipping that chair around his neck, putting out Grayson Waller. And then to finish off the match, the pièce de résistance, Grayson Waller is thrown into a Gargano escape, finishing the match in like 18 minutes. It was pretty good. It's a really good match. Almost match of the night, I gotta say. Next, we have Johnny Gargano celebrating the whole match with his friends. They come out there and we have ourselves their new women's champion, Indy Hartwell, alongside her, his wife, Candice LeRae, and Dexter Lumis. It's the Way 2.0 all there. So now we go backstage and we got ourselves the hosts of the Stand and Deliver, Pretty Deadly, Elton Prince, Kit Wilson, talking to the Angelo family, Tony D'Angelo and chanting Stacks Lorenzo about their loss and whatnot, but it gets heated, so we're going to have our tag team match next week. Now, is this Pretty Deadly suffering their losses? They're going through another loss, I think. And this, the D'Angelo family getting some traction, so they could string together a win here. Who knows? Perhaps this D'Angelo family is going to be a certain run. Could they be starting something serious? A run for series gold? Perhaps yes. Perhaps yes. All they need is 2 dimes. 2 dimes. Oh boy, poor fella. So now here we go. Our next match, it is for the Women's Tag Team Championship Gold. Now this match is between Alba Fire and Isla Dawn versus your current tag team champions of Fallon Henley of Them Denim Boys and Kiana James. Now, here's the thing. Fallon Henley and Kiana James won the title against Casey Catanzaro and Kaden Carter. Or Katana Chance and Kaden Carter. And they did nothing with it. They had the belts. This is the first title defense of Fallon Henley and Kiana James. Now, I gotta say, it was a full moon over at this stadium today because, my goodness, Alba Fire. I think, who brought these pants in? I think, what's her name? Becky Lynch. She brought in those pants where you see like 90% of your butt cheeks, your entire butt. So yeah, oh my goodness, Isla Dawn with those butt pants. Whew. I thought she was hot, but with those pants, when you see your entire butt, yeah, it was quite the treat. Anyways, enough with that. We go to the match now. Before the match starts, we have ourselves Alba Fire. She goes all nuts. She runs out there and she jumps on the top rope and she gets a nice a swanton, a front bump over on top of Kiana James, flattening her. It was pretty good, a pretty good start to the match. I gotta say, couldn't start better than that. They start fighting outside, and eventually, Isla Dawn and Fallon Henley get in the ring there, and ref instantly starts a match. And the cheeks were flapping. In a good way. Truly. Now, this match was under 9 minutes. It was also a pretty good barn burner. Very respectable. We got a finishing move happening, a tandem move by Fallon Henley and Kiana James. Kiana gets, what's her name? Isla Dawn into a power bomb. And it's Fallon Henley off the top rope with a massive dropkick onto Isla Dawn, and that initiates the power bomb. So this, wow, could this be it? But no, it's broken up. And we go to the end sequence. It's a weird sequence where we got ourselves Brooks Jensen and Josh Briggs outside the ring. Brooks Jensen's clutching onto Kiana James' handbag. Kiana James going for, give me that handbag. I'm going for one last desperation move. And they're saying, no, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't be a cheating son of a bitch. Now, maybe if she used it, she could have got a disqualification and retained those belts. But no. It turns out she gets tackled 2-on-1. Isla Dawn gets Kiana James into the backstabber, holds her in place, and that's where Miss Alba Fire goes to the top rope with a swanton squashing Kiana James between her and Isla Dawn, just really ripping her apart. And then for the final count, it's Alba Fire with the win. Her and Isla Dawn are now the new tag team champions. Now, I think they are a great looking team. They got some cohesion going on. Now, can they do something with it? Can they make these belts relevant again? They haven't been relevant in a long time. Ever since Cora Jade threw those very belts in the garbage. It was a statement of the condition of the women's tag team division. It is a garbaggio. But anyways, I'm really liking this team. It is a shame that the WWE have a really poor track record of keeping tag teams together. This could be a long-term team. If they do, there could be some great success in their future. But I don't know. Look at Toxic Attraction. They were a phenom. Only lasted a little bit, and then they're gone. I mean, this is only a matter of time, perhaps, before they implode. I'd say, yeah, chances are good. Now, with that said, we go to our main event match. It is the World NXT, the Heavyweight Championship title match. And it is Carmelo Hayes versus your world champion, Braun Breaker. Now, I think Braun Breaker is probably one of the most talented wrestlers out there. He's got size, strength, he can do it all. Carmelo Hayes, he's in the same category. The only difference is Carmelo Hayes is not as big. Braun Breaker, I thought he is like the Mike Awesome of the ECW. Mike Awesome did everything. He was a catch can wrestler. He was a powerhouse. He was unstoppable force in the ECW world. But it's like Braun Breaker in the NXT. Now, here's the thing. he barely fights. He's barely fighting, and I think the crowd has had enough. They've had enough, and they want someone new. Now, I think if Braun Breaker just fought, every couple of weeks, maybe once a month, maybe twice a month, it would have been great. People would have been on a Braun Breaker wagon. But I think when you see him wrestle, he commands respect. Period. But when he's in the ring there right now with Carmelo Hayes and his good man, number one hype guy, Trick Williams, keeping it tricky. The fans were definitely not on Braun Breaker's side. They were on Carmelo Hayes' side. Now, this match, I gotta say, was the match of the night. It was match of the night because how it was set up. It was a well-paced match. They took their time. They They didn't rush anything, which was good. Unless, of course, they had sequences where it demanded some hustle. But here's the thing with this match. Now, even though there was a mistake made in this match, Carmelo Hayes went for a springboard move. Now, I'm not sure if it was on purpose or not. It seemed like it could have been on purpose. But Carmelo Hayes slips off the ropes and he falls down. Now, a terrible wrestler would oh, it's it. Oh, the world is broken. Everybody's like, oh, you suck. You dummy, you fell. But Carmelo Hayes, no. He's a professional. And he got through it. He redone the move. And here's the thing. He went and do a flying lariat onto Braun Breaker. Didn't do anything. Braun just shrugged it off like he's nothing. Like it was nothing. Now, this match was incredible. It was about 16 minutes. 16 minutes. It was a barn burner. It was a slobber knocker. We had a moment in this match where Trick Williams tries to help out his friend Braun Breaker with the torture rack onto Carmelo Hayes. Trick Williams jumps up there and grabs Carmelo's leg and pulls him to safety. Referee, however, will not have any of it, kicking out Trick Williams from the match. Get out of here! That's right. As the picture states. So that, I guess, Trick Williams is taking too long to leave the ring area, and Braun Breaker decides to do a one of the greatest tope suicidas ever. A tope suicida over the top, clearing the top rope. This is Montez Ford level. This is Ricochet level. This is insane. So he flies and just flattens, Trick Williams. And I can't imagine Trick Williams being happy about that. So now in the match here, they start fighting more. Braun Breaker gets a massive, huge bulldog on Carmelo Hayes. And setting him up on the top rope, and Braun Breaker with a massive, a Frankensteiner, just really ruling this match. It comes to a point where Braun Breaker sets up Carmelo Hayes for a massive spear. But however, when he goes for the spear, the referee is just in the wrong spot. In the wrong spot at the right time. Or the wrong spot at the wrong time. Or the right time. But anyways, Carmelo Hayes gets speared right into the referee. Double pin hit. Braun Breaker goes and puts on a camel clutch. Throws a camel clutch onto Carmelo Hayes. Now, I'm not sure if I've ever seen Braun Breaker throwing a camel clutch to anybody. But the camel clutch to Carmelo Hayes, Carmelo taps out. Oh, I gave up. Referee's not there to see it, however. Now, this is where the cheat happens yet again. A real cheat. It's Trick Williams finds himself back into the ring area, inside the ring. Because the referee's out cold, and he comes in there and he whacks Braun Breaker with this title. He slides out to the ring and he taps the referee on the shoulder saying, "Okay, time to turn around. I've done my job. Now you can do your thing." Because after that, he hit Braun Breaker in the back of the head with the title. Slides Carmelo Hayes back on him and then taps the referee to get back in to do his job. And the referee groggily gets back up and starts doing the pin, but Braun Breaker kicks out of it. Now here's the thing. The end of the match, that final sequence of the match, Braun Breaker looks like he's going to finish it off. He gets Carmelo Hayes into a press slam. He's going to just finish right there. But however, Carmelo Hayes, thinking on top of his feet, turning that press slam into a code breaker. The recoil. the lung blower, however you call it. Carmelo Hayes gets better of Braun Breaker. And then he sets himself up to the top rope, and when he goes to the top rope and he shoots, he never misses. That's right. So, it's Carmelo Hayes, nothing but net hitting Braun Breaker in the back of the head. 1, 2, 3 seconds later, we got ourselves a new NXT champion, and that is him, the man who never misses, your former 2-time North American champion, and your new NXT champion. Can Carmelo Hayes do something with it? I would like to see Carmelo Hayes have a match. I'd like to see him be a fighting champion. Unlike all the other champions out there who are not fighting champions. Like once a month at least. But anyways, Braun Breaker grabs his belt and gives it to Carmelo Hayes himself. That's right. A good champion's like, whoop, you won it, you deserved it. What's going to happen to Braun Breaker? Will he go to the main roster? If Braun Breaker goes to the main roster, will he be considered the next Mojo Rawley? Will Braun Breaker get lost in the shuffle in the main roster? Anyways, I'm thinking perhaps Braun Breaker is moving on, because there's nothing much else he can do in the NXT. But anyways, that's just hearsay and speculation by me. And it is Carmelo Hayes, new NXT champion. Indy Hartwell, new NXT champion. That's great. So it's big. It's a big. So 2 new champions in this thing. And that ends it for this episode of All Wrestling Show with a lot of matches. Now, I have a wonderful podcast. Check it out. It's the Wrestling Show. And you can find it on, you can see it on iTunes and Spotify, Radio Republic, Google, and stuff like that. So check it out. Lip Hazlewood on The Wrestling Show. Now, remember, for everybody stuck around to the very end, remember, I hold a very special place in my heart just for you. So thank you very much for sticking around, and I'll see you on the podcast. See you later.